It's a beautiful day outside, 72 degrees underneath the oak tree and about 80 in the sun over there. I decided to take a video on why your grass, when you are cutting it, is not looking good. Now, what I mean by is this. Do you ever sometimes look at your grass, especially a day after you mow, and it looks kind of brown and hazy on the top, or is it all jagged, or is it kind of like this? I did this on purpose for the last 3 or 4 weeks just so I can have something where it kind of has like these whole marks down the paths. We're going to go over a couple key things real quick that's going to help eliminate those problems. First one's the easy one, and that's these like track marks, and that's exactly what they are. They're track marks. What you need to do is, especially when it's wet, is avoid either one, mowing while it's wet, because if it's wet, especially if you have dirt like mine, it's more of a clay, garage dog, it's just going to indent it, and then you're gonna have just tracks all the time. So try to avoid that. And two, try to avoid mowing the exact same place. Ideally, this whole small area, I mean, understandably, this small area is going to be really hard to mow in a different way. But at the very least, when I do this, when I don't have this problem I purposely try to do, I will try to at least stagger. And every now and then, I'll try to go vertical, so on and so forth. Now, in larger places like this, I apologize if the wind's catching us, I will every single time mow in a different direction. Last time I mowed diagonally. This next time I mow straight. Maybe another time horizontally. Maybe another time diagonally the other direction. So try to keep your direction different every single time. That's going to avoid those track marks. What if it's just uneven and weirdly just like jagged areas? Well, I see this quite often, to be honest. Look at your height adjustment. Some of them might be easier to see on this side within the shade, have numbers, letters, some do half, some do full, whatever it is. Either way, make sure every single one is on the same one. You will not believe how many times I have seen where one is, let's say like this is letters, one is on C, the front's on F, the back one or the other side is on A, and it just is all kinds of tore up. All the same letters, numbers, setting, whatever you have, make sure it's all the same. Next one is going to be the condition of the blade itself. Remember how I said it was hazy? If your blade is super dull, this one's pretty good. I sharpen it pretty much weekly because I mow at least twice a week. But it's pretty sharp. Or if you did sharpen it and you're still getting that, except it's even a little bit worse, check to see if it's on the right way. These go counterclockwise. That means when you're looking at the front and the blade's facing the front, the sharp edge should be facing up. Rear, the sharp edge should be facing down. Is there giant gaps in there? Did you hit a spike or a root and you chipped off a piece? That could be important too. So make sure your blade is both sharp and in the right direction. Now you notice how this deck is a little dirty but not bad. I mean, it has a little bit of a buildup. If you have just giant amount of just buildup everywhere, that's going to cause a problem. Make sure it's clean. This is pretty much the level where I would be cleaning it probably the next time I use it, but make sure it's also clean. One of the reasons why I brought up the temperature in the beginning is if you do this in the middle of the day, like I can get away with it back here, but in my front, can't get rid of it. I can't get away with it. The temperature and the time of day is going to be a pretty big factor. You don't want to do it at midday when it's the hottest. You want to do it when it's the coolest, preferably in the evening time or early evening or late afternoon. That way it's going to be less stressful. You're not going to be burning the grass. What I mean burning is when it's a freshly cut tip, it's like a wound. So if it's hot, it's going to be a little kind of like a dull blade scenario. It's going to have a little bit of a brown hue to it. So try to be when it's cooler in the day, and make sure if you do have to do it in the heat of the day, if possible, maybe run a sprinkler for 2-3 minutes real fast just to get it cooled off, just to kind of help remove some of that stress. So that in and of itself is going to be a big thing. Try not to do it at midday, and to be honest, it's probably not good for you to do that either. So let's all agree between the hours of like 11 and 3, it's probably a no-go for majority of the mowing times. And the last one, we're back to the machine. Is it set at the right speed? If you are running it very low on speed, let's say you have a throttle, or you purposely lowered it down because you wanted to save fuel, or if it's electric and you can throttle it down, not sure why they would let you do that, but let's say you can, then don't. They're meant to be ran at 3600 or somewhere close to there, and that's going to be a good solid speed for that mower. If it's running too slow, unless your blade is razor sharp, it's going to cause a little bit of a problem. It's going to be more of a tear rather than a cut. Now you have to be running it pretty slow for that to happen, but not going to lie, I've seen it before, so I'm just going to throw that one in there just as the 3 people who might have that happen maybe will learn to fix that problem. So having said that, we follow these rules of mow differently every time, make sure the blade is sharp, make sure the blade is on right, make sure we're mowing the right time of day, and we're making sure we have everything at the right speed, the right everything. Those 5 things should cure a lot of the problems. Now you will always have those pesky little blades of grass coming up from time to time, but keeping everything sharp, high speed, clean, it's going to eliminate a lot of that. No more jagginess, no more, railroad tracks in the middle of the yard. None of that's going to be happening. You're going to have a nice, even, level, clean cut. Well, that's pretty much all I have for that one. Following those 5 simple steps, granted, there's 1,000 different things that can happen. That's why it's making it look a little weird, but what I'm talking about just after you mow, those 5 things are going to make it a whole lot easier and make it a lot better of an outcome. So if you like what you see, keep watching, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at SmallEngine101, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good rest of your day.